Let's talk about the one device that basically owns us. Yeah, you know the one. It's in your pocket, probably in your hand. You might even be watching this on it right now. So, today we're going to run a little thought experiment. What if that single most essential piece of modern tech, the smartphone, just disappeared?
Seriously, just picture it. 1 second, you're scrolling. The next, every single smartphone on the planet is nothing more than a useless black brick. No signal, no apps, no Wi-Fi. Just gone. What do you think would actually happen?
Well, it wouldn't just be an inconvenience, that's for sure. Experts have a name for this, a turnable disruption. The best way to think about it is like pulling the keystone out of a stone arch. It's the one single piece holding the entire structure of our modern world together. You pull it out, and the whole thing comes crashing down.
And that crash would happen fast. That initial failure would trigger this massive domino effect. We'd see a cascading collapse of all the interconnected systems that we depend on for, well, pretty much everything.
Okay, so let's dive in. Let's start the clock on this unplugged world. What would really start to unravel in just the first few hours and days? Because the immediate consequences, they're way more staggering than you might think.
First, and this is absolutely terrifying, public safety would just crumble. Right now, when you call 911, a system called Advanced Mobile Location uses your phone's GPS to pinpoint your location, usually within a few meters. But without that, emergency services would have to fall back on old-school cell tower triangulation, which can be off by up to 30 kilometers. Think about that. That's the difference between an ambulance finding you in minutes versus searching an area the size of a small city for hours.
The economic fallout would be instant and, honestly, catastrophic. Just take a look at the App Store ecosystem alone. It's responsible for facilitating over $1.3 trillion in commerce. In our scenario, that entire engine of the global economy doesn't just slow down, it's completely erased, overnight.
And this really shows you just how deep that dependency goes. I mean, entire industries are built on a mobile-first world. Ride-sharing services like Uber and Lyft, they just vanish instantly. Mobile commerce, which, by the way, makes up nearly 3/4 of all online shopping, would be crippled. Digital payments? Gone. Even the delivery trucks bringing packages to your door would be flying blind without the mobile tracking and communication they rely on.
And then you've got this other nightmare, the great authentication lockout. Just think about how you log into your bank, your email, your work accounts. Nearly 3/4 of us use our phones for that extra layer of security. Without them, billions, and I mean billions of users will be instantly locked out of their digital lives. You can just imagine the paralysis for global corporations.
But, for so many people, this goes way beyond money or convenience. It becomes a matter of life and death. Millions of people with diabetes, for example, rely on apps that are connected to their continuous glucose monitors. These apps give them life-saving alerts when their blood sugar hits dangerous levels. A total smartphone failure would, without a doubt, be a mass casualty event.
So this all begs a huge question, right? How did we get so fragile? How did this one little device become the absolute linchpin for our entire civilization? Well, the answer isn't just in the tech itself. It's in how these devices have fundamentally rewired our brains.
It all comes down to something called the attention economy. It's a business model where you aren't the customer. Your attention is the product being sold. The whole system is designed to be addictive. It uses the same psychological tricks as a slot machine, giving you these little unpredictable rewards, a notification here, a new post there, to keep you hooked so they can sell your focus.
And this has had a real, measurable effect on how we all think. Our brains, which evolved for deep, sustained focus, are being literally rewired for constant distraction. We're living in this state of what they call cognitive overload, always chasing that next little dopamine hit we get every single time we check our phones.
And look, this isn't just a feeling we have. Research shows it's a physical change in our brains. One study took people's phones away for just 72 hours, and the MRI scans after that short time showed changes in the parts of the brain linked to reward and cravings. The researchers said the changes were, and I quote, similar in some ways to brain signals connected to substance addiction.
So, what's the result of all this? Well, our ability to just focus has absolutely plummeted. A famous study found that the average human attention span has dropped from 12 seconds back in the year 2000 to just 8 seconds today. That is, and this is not a joke, 1 second less than a goldfish.
So, we've seen the science, right? But what does this constant connection, this always-on world, actually cost us in our day-to-day lives? What's the real impact beyond just a shorter attention span?
Well, the hidden toll is immense. Study after study shows clear links between heavy smartphone use and a whole list of negative things. More anxiety, more stress, symptoms of depression. It messes with our sleep by suppressing melatonin, and it leads to lower self-esteem from all that constant social comparison. It's a heavy price.
And this hyperconnectivity has completely demolished the boundaries between work and home. Thanks to what some people call the electronic leash, the average professional is now connected to work for 72 hours a week. Now that's not working 72 hours, that's just being available and connected. It's a perfect recipe for burnout.
Okay, after all that doom and gloom, I promise there is some genuinely good news here. The same science that shows us the problem also points us directly to the solution. Research proves we can actually reverse these effects. We can take back control of our attention and our well-being.
Just check this out. In a month-long controlled trial, they took a group of people and just blocked their mobile internet for 2 weeks. And the result? A staggering 91% of them showed real improvements in their mental health, their general well-being, and even their objectively measured ability to pay attention.
So why do they feel so much better? It's actually really simple, but also pretty profound. People just replaced that empty screen time with real restorative activities. They spent more time talking to people face-to-face, more time exercising, and more time out in nature.
So how can we get some of these benefits without, waiting for a global smartphone apocalypse? Well, the research points to a few simple, really powerful steps. 1. Schedule actual digital detoxes, device-free hours, or even a whole weekend. 2. Create no-phone zones, like the dinner table, or the most important one, the bedroom. 3. This is a cool trick. Try grayscale mode on your phone. It makes your screen way less appealing and helps break that compulsive checking cycle. And finally, just actively, intentionally prioritize seeing people in person over connecting online.
Which really leaves us with one last crucial question to think about. The smartphone is, without a doubt, one of the most powerful tools humanity has ever created. But we all have to ask ourselves, are we using the tool, or has the tool started using us?